BookTube people. I have been incredibly remiss in wrapping up the last couple months because I have been sick, in a bad mood, and we had our septic redone. So there was a lot of construction going on for many weeks and a lot of other issues going on along with it. So I am going to remedy that today as part of my epic filmathon that's been going on today and wrap up October and November for you. But today I'm going to do October, in which I participated very poorly in Victober and did not finish anything. Nothing at all. I read 92 pages of Wives and Daughters, which loving, but I'm putting back on the shelf for now because I am just not in the mood for a classic. And I read 148 pages of Dombey and Son, which I'm also really loving, but I'm not really in the mood for, and there is no point. It threw me in an epic reading slump and felt horrible about myself, and we are moving on from that. When I was on vacation, though, which was like a week and a half in October, I put those things away and I read a lot of books, because I do that when I'm on vacation to places I've already been. So I knocked a couple things off my TBR in October, just not any Victorian novels. I read the second book and third books in the Scandal and Scoundrel series by Sarah MacLean, who is fast becoming one of my favorite historical romance authors. I read A Scot in the Dark, boom, and The Day of the Duchess, books 2 and 3, and I think those are the only books in it. Could be wrong though, because I read these a couple months ago now. I gave them both 4 stars. They were very good. She writes the underworld incredibly well, and I cannot wait to read more books by her. I read Nicola and the Viscount by Meg Cabot. Yes, that Meg Cabot who writes all kinds of adorable things. This was a Regency romance. I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't highly enjoyable, and I think, it was like a little too basic for me. It was definitely written for the young adult age group, and it wasn't a very complicated story, but it was cute and it gave me feels. I read The Cinderella Deal by Jennifer Crusie. These are all books I had on my Kindle just sitting there waiting for me, so I knocked a bunch of stuff out. I don't even remember what this is about, but I believe it is a chick lit of some sort, contemporary romance. It was a 3-star okay book, nothing too incredibly interesting, and even reading the synopsis is not giving me any thoughts as to what this book was about, so obviously it didn't give me a whole lot of feels. And I read Dear Jane by Marissa Clark. This is the first book in a series that I will not be continuing because I don't even remember what it's about. Obviously a contemporary romance, and I gave it 3 stars, probably pretty generously because I'm not thinking that it was all that interesting. The most interesting book that I read in October was Noteworthy by Riley Redgate. I really enjoyed this book a whole lot. I gave it 4 stars. And I may spoil some things, but I'll try to hold off until the end of the video and then you guys can just stop watching. But this is about a girl who is in a performing arts school. It is like one teenage school sort of deal, but it's separated into different sections depending on what your high school major is, which is kind of weird. She is in the theater school and she is not getting very good parts, even though she got accepted to go to this really prestigious place. Partly because she is very tall and she has a very deep voice, so she's not getting cast into female roles very easily. She gets an email to try out for the a cappella group, but it's a boys a cappella group. And a cappella is big in the music side, and they go to competitions and they win stuff, and so when there's an opening, she decides to dress like a boy and try out because her family want to bring her home because she's not getting any parts in her part of the school, and she gets in. So this has like 2 storylines that both are pretty 50-50. One is the a cappella group, trying to go all the way to nationals and things like that, and winning and all of that. And the other part is her identity. I don't generally like books about identity, but this one I did appreciate a lot. And this is where spoilers come in maybe a little bit, but I liked the ending very, 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 very much, because I think that it is very normal for girls to have a period of time in their lives where they wish that they were boys, or that they identify with some boy characteristics, or they're tomboys, or they're whatever it is, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a boy and that they need to change their gender. I think there are times in your life where you realize that like another gender may have it easier or have something that you like, and that's all part of just us being us and not necessarily that she needs to be a crossdresser or whatever the different things are. And I appreciated that and the exploration of that. And so sorry for those spoilers. Like I said, it was only about it was 50-50 between that and them going to nationals and stuff. So it wasn't like a serious exploration of gender or bisexuality or any of those things. It wasn't like a serious exploration, but it was very, very interesting, and it resolved in a way that I liked as someone who doesn't generally like this sort of exploration, just because it's my own personal opinion. So I really liked this book. I thought it was very interesting. I gave it 4 stars. It was a lot of fun. And that was October. Yeah, I know, that's very anticlimactic, isn't it? I think so too. October was a very awful reading month for me, and I'm glad that it's over and that, things have happened since then. So I will talk to you again in a couple minutes, although I probably won't post them all up in the same day because that's just wrong. So I will talk to you again later. Bye.